Back to Dongshan.
Page 1. Life was difficult in the coastal areas of Fujian, Guangdong, and Guangxi when the Jiaqing Emperor ruled over China in the Qing dynasty. Despite the high risk, a large number of immigrants crossed the Taiwan Strait, which commonly known as the Black Water Ditch, to change their life conditions. A group of people from the immigrants settled in a place known as the Dologuo community. They are also called the Fanshe Street. Note: Dologuo community and Fanshe Street are now in the areas of Dongshanli, Dongzhenli, and Dongzhongli in Dongshan District, which also includes today's bustling Dongshan Old Street. Dongshan Old Street had different names in different periods of time, such as the Dologuo community is named during the Dutch colonial period, and after the Qing dynasty took over, it was referred to as Fanshe Street. A place referred to as Niao Ditch was considered the end of the world for those who crossed the Taiwan Strait. The further part heading East Taiwan is large mountain after large mountain, and not even the government had a legal right over these areas. Apart from the fierce indigenous people who inhabited in the mountains, bandits and fugitives also hid among the places, making it hard for people to dare venturing. The end of the world is also one of the farthest points where immigrants from Chaozhou, China, have set their footprint. They named the new village after their hometown, the Haga village, Grand Haga. Note: Niao Ditch is a borderline that was created by various methods, such as ditching, embankment, and geographical features. It served the purpose of dividing Taiwan into two parts: East Taiwan, where most of the indigenous people lived, and West Taiwan. The purpose of building this borderline is to avoid the overlay of living areas from causing fights between the immigrants and the indigenous, and to keep from the immigrants to step into or take away the territories of the indigenous. At the time when they began building houses in Grand Haga, an elderly feng shui master came to help them. The master gazed into the shallow mountains and the 18th Chong stream as they were in distance, and said the courtyard in the house should face inward, the house itself should face away from the road, and the main street should be curved. These measures are intended to ensure the peace and safety of all the villagers. A spiritual power of feng shui that kept the villagers in Grand Haga safe and sound has supported them for generations. Besides praying for good luck, another culture that makes the scenery of Grand Haga different from the other villages is the longyuan trees planted beside the houses in the neighborhood. The longyuan trees in the household of his neighbor, Qiao, were the sweetest memory of Jingfu's childhood. Annually, the longyuan flowers on the mountain bloom like a piece of golden cloth at the beginning of spring. The bees buzz like they are chatting or chanting as they collect nectar from the longyuan flowers. Their route extends all the way from the Grand Haga to far away into the cold. Jingfu and Qiao like to chase each other under the trees, smelling the fragrance of longyuan pollen and listening to the hustle of the bees.
The languages in Grand Hakka are like different frequencies of bee buzzing. They will ultimately assimilate into one frequency. Japanese became the national language subject in the Fanshe public schools. At night, the family would move a bench out to the courtyard, sit together and count the stars. A few Hakka sentences from Auntie had long blended into the everyday Minnan dialect, just like the stars in the sky, indistinguishable and inseparable. As the adults often said, this place is called Zhengka in Minnan, while Auntie referred to it as Zhongha in Hakka. Growing up, Junfu always thought that this Zheng referred to Grand Hakka. This is his Zhengka, Auntie's Zhongha, and their hometown forever. One day, Chao said to Jinfu, "Next year, would you like to pick Longan together?" Jinfu didn't answer. That year, he graduated from the Fanshe public school in first place, leaving Dongshan behind. Jinfu went to Fucheng to study at Tainan Second Senior High School. After graduating in first place, his teacher remarked, "Jinfu memorized the entire English dictionary." Meanwhile, Chao stayed in Dongshan, helping his family with the beehives, harvest longan, and roast pork. Jinfu's outstanding academic performance earned him an opportunity to study abroad, but due to his family's poverty, he almost couldn't. With the efforts of the local community, Jinfu received support from generous benefactors, allowing him to board the student ship bound for his studies overseas. From that moment, he and Chao embarked on completely different paths in life. In the foreign land, Jinfu pursued his studies with caution and diligence, determined not to waste a single cent of his benefactor's kindness. With his reservedness and focus, he ultimately graduated from Kyushu University Hospital's medical school in third place. The greatest adventure of Jinfu's life came during the winter of his final year at university. Gathering his courage, he spent 2 days using a discounted student travel pass, taking a train from Kyushu all the way to Hokkaido. Along the journey, steam from the train continuously wafted into the carriage. Starting from Fukuoka, he traveled to Abashiri and Shiretoko in Hokkaido, where he witnessed the drift ice on the Sea of Okhotsk and marveled at the breathtaking scenery of the snowy land.
In the Southland station, Jinfu stands in front of the stove to keep his freezing hand warm, and he drinks a cup of coffee at the station. The frozen Southland towns makes him afraid to go forward, so he gets on the next train to Kyushu. He must miss the longan tree from Chao. Longan is juicy and sweet in summer. If it is winter like now, you should drink a longan ginger tea, which can dispel cold. When he came back to his hometown, he started the clinic on the bustling Jiali Street. Every holiday, Junfu takes his family back to Dongshan Great Hakka. When he visits Chao's family, Junfu noticed that the 3-section compound at Chao's house has been abandoned for a few years. Junfu heard that Chao broke his kneecap by falling from a tree that is 3 stories high when helping his family pick longan. To accommodate all the family members, Jinfu built the Western-style bungalow in front of the original 3-section compound and hang up the wooden tablet by the door, named Little West Mountain. Children play in the bungalow, recalling memories from childhood. The longans he used to eat were always juicy. They would tie the rope around the watermelon and lower it into well in the summer, until it became cold. Then they would cut it and eat it.
Jingfu looking at his grandsons, reminding him of Joe, and the childhood with smoky flavors of longan. The old trees in the village have been pruned into a round size, looking like a hunchback elder. People in the village said that Joe and his family, in order to take care of the longan garden, had moved to Dongyuan, but what is the actual address? Nobody knows about it. In the beginning of every autumn, after harvesting the longan, the fruit grower constructed a baking stove near the mountain's shape and started to smoke the longan. Jingfu goes up the mountain to find his friend, and the second adventure of life is just starting. But this time, Jingfu didn't take the smoky steam train. Instead, he was in his son's own car, with a lively atmosphere from his grandsons. Every single longan must be baked for 6 days and 5 nights, according to its age and the time, and sometimes the mountains will be covered by the heavy smoke, which is from burning the longan in 1 or 2 months. Comment: Longan bake usually costs 5 to 7 days in Dongshan. For example, the dry longan, which is made from Li Qingxin that baker Wu Baochun is using for bakery, is baked for 6 days and 5 nights without pausing. But after field investigation, some farmers will bake the longan for 5 days and 4 nights, even for 4 days and 3 nights. So the practical timing is decided by the farmer and the baking stove. Passing Dongyuan, Nanshi, Brangxi Huacan, and Qingshan, Jingfu tried every single coffee shop on the road that was shrouded in mist. He asked everyone, but nobody knew where Zhou and his family were. Jingfu on the coffee road, overlooking the coffee shop on the China Pinland. He tasted a sip of the coffee combined with a longan honey. Next year, would you like to pick longan together? In the old memories, there was always a smile and ashes on Joe's faces. Where'd he go? No matter where they were, the place will become their homeland.